Hey guys, it's Rianne. So today I'm going to film a first impression. Today's first impression is going to be on the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. This is $39 in America. I will leave links below to where you can buy it in Australia. I know that you can buy it on Beauty Bay and it's $53.20 as my computer so kindly tells me. I am in the colour 3.0. Which is a light to medium shade with yellow undertones. I'm hoping this is going to match me because I'm not fake tanned, but I am a little bit more tanned because obviously it's going into spring and summer and I've spent a little bit more time in the sun. So I'm just going to apply this. I have applied a moisturiser all over my face. I am going to apply a primer to half of my face like normal. So I'm going to use my Designer Brands Pre-Foundation Moisturising Primer. And I'm going to apply this to the right half of my face. I do have a few blemishes at the moment. I do have a pimple up here and I also have one on my cheek and I do have redness on my cheeks. So this will be a really good chance to see how well this foundation covers and what the coverage is like. So I'm just going to apply a pump of this on the back of my hand. It is really runny as you can tell, and that was one pump just there. So we'll see how far this goes. I'm just using a flat top kabuki brush to apply this. So now that I've applied a layer to one half of my face, you can see that it's covered quite well. It's covered most of the redness on my cheeks. My blemish is picking through a little bit here and a little bit up here on my forehead. I did have to blend it all the way down my neck just so it matches, because you can see the line here where obviously I was a little bit more pale than this foundation. So I used almost one pump on that half of my face. So I'm going to apply another pump to the back of my hand and do the other side of my face. It does have a scent to it. I can't think of what the scent is, but it does have a scent. It's kind of like a sunscreen, like chemically scent. It's not very natural and it's not very pleasant really. So now I've applied a whole layer to my face. You can see once again it's covered quite well. I am really impressed with the coverage actually. And although the colour is a little bit dark, I have blended it down my neck so it's not too bad, and I will use it with fake tan. I'm going to apply a little bit more to the back of my hand and I'm going to try and cover up a little bit more redness on my cheeks and see how buildable this foundation is. And see if I can cover that blemish. So now that I've applied a second layer, it did cover up like my blemish here on my cheek quite well. It is still a little bit raised, but most of the redness is gone in it. And the same with the one that was on my forehead. I do think this one up here needs a little bit more concealing, but it was a little bit more angry and red. I do think it gives a really flawless finish. It even covered up my under eye circles quite well. So I'm actually really impressed with this. I'm just going to read you a snippet off the Urban Decay website. So it says, "Coverage without compromise. Our weightless formula blurs imperfections for a flawless finish that feels invisible but looks professionally retouched." I do think it looks quite natural and I do think it gives quite a flawless finish. I don't know if it's translating on camera. As I can see in my computer, my skin does look quite flawless. And I actually really like it. I did have quite a few dry patches here in between my eyebrows and kind of under my eyes and on my cheeks. And it hasn't really accentuated those, which is nice. I do think because the colour's a bit dark, it kind of doesn't match extremely well, but like I said, I'll just use it when I'm fake tanned. So I'm gonna apply some concealer and some powder. It has set quite well. It's got a little bit of a tacky finish, but it's nothing like ridiculously annoying. Once you powder, it would be perfectly fine. So I'm going to apply some concealer and some powder and the rest of my face makeup, and I will be back to check in with you guys. It is currently now 1:04. Hey guys, so I finished the rest of my makeup now. The rest of my makeup went on really nicely and I'm actually really impressed with how it applied. The foundation is looking really good, and now that I powdered, it's still not looking super cakey. I did put powder, bronzer and blush and contour and all that kind of stuff on, and it's still not looking cakey. It is showing my fine lines up here a little bit, like just my expression lines that you get, but that's about it. I couldn't see any difference with how it applied on the prime side and the non-prime side, so I will come back in a few hours and update you guys on how it's gone. Hey guys, so I'm here for my final check-in of the night. It is 9:08 and I've now had the foundation on for about 8 hours. I didn't do a check-in during the day just because I was really busy today, but I have been out and about. I was doing food shopping, I've been in the kitchen around heat, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was a good representation of how well the foundation would last in a kind of like upbeat environment. So if you had a everyday day where you were going to work or something like that, or going to school or uni or any of those things, it would be a good representation of how the foundation would hold up. It has worn off my blemish up here, as you can see. It's also worn off a little bit here on my cheek. I've gotten a little bit oily up here in my T-zone, but nothing that has soaked through the foundation, which I'm really impressed with, especially considering I did put like a moisturizing primer on because I was having really dry skin lately. The foundation is starting to kind of break up on my forehead here though. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but overall I think it's held up really well. I think it's just on my forehead and a little bit on the end of my nose that it's like breaking up, and that's about it. So I'm really impressed with this foundation for 8 hours where it still looks really flawless. You can still see my contour and my blush and it looks really nice. I would definitely recommend it. I give it a big thumbs up. I think if you have kind of sort of dry to normal to combination skin, I don't know how this would work for you if you were super oily or super dry, because it would obviously like be different depending on your skin type. I think if you were super dry, it might accentuate your dry patches a little bit. I think if you were super oily, your oil might kind of seep through, but if you used a mattifying primer and stuff, I'm sure it would be fine. So it gets a big thumbs up from me. You guys should definitely try this out. I think it is definitely worth the price point. I know it is a bit more expensive here in Australia, but I really love it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!